Good morning. Power Players Magazine. I hope you all ready for the morning show. It's coming at you right now. So good morning to all my people out there. We're gonna talk a little bit about some different things going on today in the news. We had a big long weekend, sports, so on and so forth. I got a new mic. I want to show you guys the mic that I purchased from Amazon. I am an Amazon contributor. I got to do some more video uploads for Amazon, but I got this new mic. Oops. It really sounds good. Jesus, I guess it's backwards or whatever, mirror. But I got this new mic, podcast mic, and it's backwards, but it's the SL40X. And I will put the link in the description below for this mic. And if you want to purchase it, I will be doing a rating on it. It's a pretty good mic, great specifications, made by the company you've probably all seen a lot of people call FDuce. And I should have mirrored my camera. I don't know why I didn't mirror my camera, man. But whatever. Anyway, we here. Had a lot going on this weekend. And we're going to go ahead and talk about some things that have occurred this weekend. I think that we saw over this weekend, my man Jason Whitlock will be eating his words about Deion Sanders, with Deion Sanders winning again, second game against Nebraska. Game was really awesome. Jason Whitlock said he had a problem. He had a problem with Deion Sanders, not as a coach, but said that he, as a man of God, I guess. Let me see if I got my camera on. That as a man of God, that Deion should be a role model, and he should be more humble. He should be humble pie. He said that Deion should be the kind of person that you can look up to, and that Deion should be the kind of coach that should be an example. Said a lot of things on his show. And Warren Sapp, who is a great friend of Deion Sanders, also said that, when it comes to Deion, that's just the way he rolls. He's a very confident guy. But Jason Whitlock felt like Deion was still, he should, being in a collegiate setting, he should kind of dial it down as far as teaching the kids. I get where Jason Whitlock is coming from on what he's saying. He's basically saying, as you come in, you're a role model to these young people. You should dial it down on how you carry yourself and always be humble. You should be humble, and you should bring to the table values and things of that nature so that the kids know that you're a humble guy. I don't know if a lot of y'all agree with that, you know what I'm saying? But these were the words of Jason Whitlock.
Deion Sanders. And Warren was this close
Fair
to getting me
use.
to believe that Deion's going to be super duper successful at Colorado. I'm still not all the way bought in, but and it started because Brett Favre was like, "Oh, Warren would make a great coach," and I'm like, "Warren Sapp would make a great coach? Get out of here!" And Warren's been down with Deion at Colorado. You've seen it all firsthand.
They pouring concrete. Just know this.
Y'all, and Seth, I'm gonna lump you in, even though I don't know your thoughts. Y'all all probably think the Deion thing's gonna work. Warren, you start us off.
So this is where Warren Sapp comes in to give Jason Whitlock an idea and understanding that Deion has been this way based on all the adversities and things that he's gone through as a young man growing up. He had to be the confident person that he is today. I think that people look at things and they see things in a way that things are toxic when you have too much confidence or you're overconfident. For some people, overconfidence works. For some people, overconfidence works. For some people, they like to have humility. Everyone's different, Jason Whitlock. It's nothing wrong with some people being overconfident as long as they're not rude or obnoxious. Jason Whitlock also had an issue with Dion having so much jewelry on, saying that Dion seemed to come off as an insecure individual with all of the jewelry and things of that nature. But Warren Sapp pretty much defends Dion to get Jason Whitlock to understand that everybody's not going to be the way you are. And just because someone says that they're a Christian and they have Christian values, everybody's not going to take the Jesus route and just be that type of Christian that basically is humble. And we all supposed to be. You're Christian, you're supposed to be Christ-like, but everybody's not going to be the same. Some people are going to break the mold and be different. It really boils down to the way you were brought up. It really boils down to what you've been through and the adversity that you've been through. And I don't think Jason Whitlock really understands that everyone can't be the same when it comes down to it. So let's just listen to what Warren Sapp has to say.
I'm fully in because the man is so consistent and patient with them young men, and then he surrounded himself with good coaches around him. It's not just him.
Now, notice how Warren Sapp goes in and lets you know that it's just not Dion. Dion, mastermind, coming in as a coach, has been coaching Little League. I'm not sure. I think he's coached high school or something like that. I don't know the total background with Dion. I'm a big Dion fan, but I always knew that when he had his own show back in the day with his reality show, when he was married to Pilar Sanders. Shout out to Pilar. She lives in Houston. But I always knew that he as a coach was more than just coaching. He loved the sport. He loved the game. And like most athletes, he couldn't walk away. I think people need to give Deion Sanders more credit. We loved him as a player. It was okay for him to be a player on our favorite team and do all of those great things. But now all of a sudden as a coach, they want him to tone it down. There's a lot of coaches that are high testosterone coaches. I call them high testosterone. I like that. I like to see masculinity out there. I like to see a man teaching young men that Dion just tell them, he doesn't just send his kids out there and doesn't tell them how to pull it back or reel it in. When they get out of line, Dion gets on those young men out there. So it's not like there's no checks and balances out there. You know, there's other coaches that he's hired and brought into the situation to balance the situation. But you let Jason Whitlock tell it basically. Dion's just out there just, doing his thing, and there's no checks and balances on the field or within the University of Colorado organization, and that's definitely not true. Shout out to Jason Whitlock and Blaze TV. I want to say y'all go to the Blaze TV, subscribe, go to my channel for Power Players Magazine, like and subscribe. So this is going to let Warren Sapp finish with what he's saying to give a alternate view.
Not just him. If it was just him, I'd be like, Prime, you can't do this all by yourself, baby. You're a Florida boy, and I know we walk around with chips on our shoulders and think we walk on water, but that's just too much. He's got a great staff with him, and the kids are all in. When he's in front of them talking, it's almost like they're in a trance. And you know how that is when you got a football team on one beat. When you got a football team on one beat, we can do whatever we want to do because we're all rowing in the same direction.
All rolling in the same direction. Now, notice what Sapp is saying. Warren Sapp, one of the greatest to ever do it. He said we're all rolling in the same direction. We all rolling with a common goal. He has his players. He has his players in tune. Sapp is saying his players are in tune. Those kids look at him like a general, Deion Sanders, like they should look at a coach. What's wrong with that? We don't see that no more. It's just like today, people are getting to the point where they're just not wanting to see masculinity anymore. They want to see the same old, same old. And when the coach is being an actual coach of what we grew up watching as a coach, it's odd. It's rare all of a sudden to see a coach be a coach. Nowadays, I'm a military veteran, but nowadays you can't even talk to the kids anymore and yell at them in the military. The military changed my life. Go Army. Shout out to all my people out there. Go Army. Did 10 years in the Army. Signed up right before September 11th. Today is September 11th. A commemorative. I signed up right before September 11th in May 2001, 2010. No, sorry, 2001. I ended my career in 2010. So, yeah, I ended my career in 2010. But that was 10 years of being in the Army. I came in as a reservist, National Guard. Shout out to all my National Guards out there. Cups up to my National Guards. I just think that at some point people have to realize, and I'm going to go through this a little bit, where Jason goes in and talks about Deion being too provocative or too much for the sport of college football. Maybe he would probably not be good. And Deion said before he didn't want to be a NFL coach, because at that point, when the young men, I hate to call them kids, when the young men get paid that kind of money for a sport, it's hard to get into their heads because you have divas and you can't get control of your team. College and the collegiate level is the last level where young people are actually hungry because they're trying to go pro. And so what Deion is basically saying is, I wouldn't be able to control players who are I wouldn't be able to control players that are professional level, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to control a professional player, because I'd probably have to put the pause on somebody basically. But I understand what he's saying because I coach soccer, little league soccer, and I understand when people are good and they're getting paid, it's hard to coach them because you can't really have that control or whatever. I don't know if control is the word, but maybe, I don't know. Like and subscribe, thumbs up. So here's Jason Whitlock speaking on his disdain talking points for Deion Sanders as a coach.
All special level players. I watched all of you play. You're incredibly gifted. And I think a lot of times incredibly gifted people have flaws that their gifts make up for, but they think their flaws are part of their strength.
So basically, Jason is saying that professional athletes who are the best in most cases, like Michael Jordan, whatever, don't make great coaches. They make they make great players, and this is not always the truth. This is not always the truth, guys. This is not always the truth. Steve Kerr was a marginal player, but he was a clutch player for the Bulls when they needed him to be clutch. He wasn't Michael Jordan clutch, but guess what? And we're going to look at this game here. And he is one of the greatest coaches of all time, some would argue. There are scenarios where coaches actually can be pretty good. I don't know about great or the best in the world, but what are the odds of a coach being that? What are the odds of a super duper player being the greatest coach in the world? I don't know. But what I do know is I know that Deion's doing it. This Colorado team went from being a 2-10 season last year, winning only 2 games, And Dion has brought them. He's brought them to 2 games being won. I say the kids are ecstatic. I say you need critics. Everyone, you gotta appreciate Jason Whitlock and people who are critics. Because without critics, if everybody jumps on the bandwagon or jumps on the boat, if everybody jumps on the boat, it ain't no fun. But Jason Whitlock today is eating crow today. He's eating crow. And there's a whole season to all fairness with Jason Whitlock and others who are passing assessments. I don't say judgment on Dion. Hey, it's a long season ahead with some pretty fierce competitors. So, with that being said, Dion has a lot of games to win. He's fairly new there. Most people see him winning at least 8 games because he's Coach Prime. He brings that to the program. And keep in mind, he did come from a winning program at JSU. Just because he's not in the big, what we call the big leagues, if he can take JSU, Jackson State University, or HBCU, and if he can make that Jackson State University a team that goes to a bowl game, let's just give a man his props. If he can do that, he can do anything, man. So we need to give his props, and we need to stop with the whole, let's just give him his props. Let's give him his props. I want to salute to Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, for the 2 games you've given me. You've given me some. I stopped watching college football when some of my Texas teams went down and they struggling to get back up, and my University of Houston local team and Texas Southern, my alma mater, lost yesterday, got drubbed. But I started watching college football again, and I can honestly say, prime time, you brought me back to watching football at a college level. I want to thank you for that. But needless to say, at the same time, guys, if you look at this score, you look at the replays, the highlights, that school is excited. Shedeur Sanders showed up. And even Shiloh. Shiloh got into a little issue there. He got a flag on the play. I believe it was Shiloh at cornerback on that play. Shedeur did say in the post interview that he felt like the coach disrespected the Buffalo tradition where they run the Buffalo on the field. He said Nebraska's coach, and I don't know the coach's name, the coach of Nebraska was in the middle of the field when they were doing the running Buffalo that they do on the field. And if you know about Colorado Buffalo, they have a Buffalo that they run, a young Buffalo on the field. Great for nostalgia and everything. I'm really impressed with Shedeur. I doubted him being able to come to a Division I school and be able to do what he's doing. And the only reason I doubted him because I feel like Shedeur needed more time in a collegiate program. I didn't think that he would come into the top level, but then again, hey, we all, have to develop. But he is a son of Deion Sanders. He's got that pumping in his veins. He's got prime time pumping in his veins. So who am I to doubt? And you know what? Don't even sleep on Shiloh. Don't sleep on Shiloh at cornerback. Deion demands out of all his players greatness. The Hunter kid who plays both sides of the ball. I think that could be an issue in the future. If he keeps playing both sides of the ball, he could probably get hurt. I'm not sure. I like what I see in the backfield. I like what I see in the receiver brigade. I like what I see. I just like what I see with Colorado. I mean, I was a fan of Colorado and players like uh, uh, Eric Bieniemy back in the day, big running back, fullback, scat back. I've been a Colorado fan. There's teams that I loved watching in the 90s, the early 2000s, and a lot of those teams fell to the wayside and are not great competitors as they once were. And they put the money up for Dion, and I could tell you that money was well spent. As you go further into this game, look at the pocket collapse right there. The pocket collapses for Shedeur, and that block was not there. So let's go and see. So here's the guy here. Their block was not there. That defensive end comes in. Somebody missed their assignment. He rolls around, and look at Shedeur. He's still going. Completion. That's what I'm talking about. Some things you can coach, some things you can't coach. Some things are just pure greatness. Look at this. I mean, it's the tenacity. It's the tenacity for me. It's the tenacity that they're coming out with. Now, there were some errors on the side of Nebraska. Nebraska played a great game. Quarterback had some issues with some snaps. And what really got me about it was they were getting to the point where they were getting ready to replace this kid. Look at this run their quarterback ran. They were getting ready to replace their starting quarterback with this Jeff Sims young man. They were getting ready to replace him because they wanted to win so bad against Colorado. This kid broke out. Now, check out the score on this, guys. Jeff Sims, if they give this kid a chance and they hang in there with Jeff, look at that big gap. And he's got some speed. He's got some jets on him. And Shiloh tried to chase him down, missed the assignment. At this point, it's 13-7, third quarter. This game is still reasonable. I would say to the Nebraska coach, have some faith in your quarterback. Just because you want to beat Colorado based on their record last year, they have a new sheriff in town. Do not take your starting quarterback off the line. Do not change your assessment. If the kid's not playing well in 3 games, yeah, make an assessment. But I wouldn't say pull your quarterback because that could demoralize your quarterback. Have faith in your quarterback. Work with him. A guy is supposed to have some off games sometime. And in this game, maybe they underestimated Colorado. But have some faith in your quarterback. Don't pull him. Anyway, I enjoyed this game. I know if you guys didn't get to see it, you can go check out the highlights. I'm pretty much going to sign off. I probably would come on with some other commentary later on the day on some things I've seen as far as on the music scene. Don't forget to go check out our website for Power Players Magazine. Links in the description. Subscribe, tell a friend. And guess what? You know what? We want you and your opinion, and we want you to tell us what we should talk about. What are great topics? I want you guys to be engaged. Anyway, I'm out, guys. Power Players Magazine. Like and subscribe.